Good morning. So it is the 17th of May today. Seeding is done. Flax is coming up. Flax is coming up pretty thick. That mystery of what's happening to my seed, I finally figured that out. So the last bit's just been cleaning up what's left behind after seeding. Site's usually in a bit of a scramble, so today we're going to be returning totes to Fabian Seed in Tilly, so there's a couple of trips to Tilly. Just noticing here all the blooms on the choke cherry. Choke cherry syrup coming up, one of my favorites. Kind of grew up with choke cherry syrup in a bowl with, of course, heavy cream, as there was always generally cows to milk, and a thick slice of Ma's warm bread. Wow, that was a treat. Anyway, sidetracked to Fabian's. We get all our Eco Tea and gypsum and other inputs from Fabian Seed, Tilly, Alberta. So that's for us. That's an hour and a half to 2 hours. So that's the deal today. So my morning walk brings me back down to the boat launch. So it's a different look, a different sound. Can hear him in the background yet, but coming past the chokecherry bushes on the way down here, a brown thrasher. They are so crazy. So I haven't spotted them yet. Maybe I can zoom, but I hear a beaver chewing, gnawing on a stick up here. Oh, there he is, swimming in. That's a lot of zoom for a shaky old farmer. The geese must be going out for breakfast. Hear them flying off into the distance. Yeah, so the seed rate thing. I made a very small error with considerable consequences. So to set the seed rate on that thing, you meter out some seed, weigh it, and then run that through the math numbers formula that they provide you. And I have that formula written with paint pen on the side of the seed cart. So I went and checked, make sure I had it right. Did the math. Got the rate where I wanted it. I ended up running out of flaxseed. I struggled the whole time thinking, something's not right. This isn't working out. But anyway, started in on the triticale. Same thing, it's just not right. Then it hit me. I wonder if I switched up a couple numbers in that formula. So I went back to the tank where I had it written down. Sure enough, switched a 1 and a 2, reversed them. Damn Lexdicia gets in the way. So our flax is, instead of the 35 pounds per acre that I was aiming for, is at 58 pounds per acre, which is still within the guidelines, or top end of the guidelines, but in our dry neighborhood, less is better. And the humic product, instead of landing at about 8.5 pounds, I think was 13.8, which is fine, which is probably better anyway. But it means I ran out, and there's about 120 acres of trit that doesn't have humic on it. We'll call that a test strip. The trit started going in at 145 pounds per acre, which is again too much for our neighborhood. I was shooting for between 90 and 100 pounds, but there it is. Let's see how it goes. We are desperate for rain already. We've had a couple little showers, a couple tenths, but you can see it in the grass. Grass is suffering. The hayfield is, even if it rains now, the potential, we'll say the potential is decreasing by the day. The only good thing about it all, well, can't say that, but on the positive side, the weather has been cool for the most part. There's been some wind, but not real hot, drying winds. So, such as farming in this part of the world, we're always looking for more moisture. And the lack of moisture here is one of the driving factors behind learning about the soil biology. It's one of the jobs, these bugs that we're putting in, and the humic is to build a better soil that's more able to absorb and retain moisture. So when you get these little showers of 2/10, they have a greater effect on the crop. So I'm walking along a regular route, winter route, say, and I'm hearing a different bird down in the old gravel pit. Merlin says a rock wren, and I thought a rock wren was further south in the desert. There. That trail there, a number of calls. I can't say that I've heard one here before. But over the last number of years, as we get less winter, we are getting birds coming further north. Kind of sweet. At this time of year, though, of course, we've got birds like the chipping sparrow, and I think this says Phoebe. I'm not sure about that one, but we're getting a lot of birds that are just passing through to go further north to nest. So it's kind of fun. So this is flax straw, either from 2016 or 17. So it's softened up some, gotten quite a bit browner. Typically we would put it through the bale processor and chew it up. Makes it a little more fluffy, but that's a nuisance. Not going to be gardening here this year. So the main goal here is just to cover it up to keep the weeds from taking over while we're away. But this is how we garden here too. Completely cover it. And then when you want to plant, just pull some of the straw back, do the planting, and then move the straw back in around. Depending on the plant, sometimes you wait for it to come up and then put the straw back in around it. And get away with very little watering. And very little weeding, and the soil underneath is happy. It's much improved since we started doing this. We never disturb it, never till it, other than the garlic planting that gets tilled. So it's all around good. I guess if there's some cons, it would be the mold would be the big one. It can be kind of moldy, especially in the spring. Well, I got my robin excited. She has a nest here on the back porch out at the farm, up in the antlers. And there's been a nest there before. But this one, I don't know if this is different robin or what, but she gets more excited. Usually they're pretty relaxed. But it's kind of fun. Because every time she comes in, she lands on the end of this evener here, right up here, and it goes clunk. So when I'm inside, I always know when she's coming and going. Since we're on the back porch, do a little tour. This is bits and pieces that we pick up walking across the yard. There's always little bits of the path show up as the dirty roads way off the driveway and such. Some of Grossfather's blacksmith tools, some of which he made. A little more junk hanging on the wall. bison antlers. A hat rack someone had made long ago. I guess it would have been covered at one time. And Grossfather's harness is what's left of them. They were hanging in the barn when it came down. And every back porch needs flowers hanging. Alright, got a pretty good bucket load. Gotta go find a rock pile. Oh, not on the trees. Let those little guys grow. Okay, now that the bucket's empty, I'm gonna go back. There's one, well, we call an earth knot. A rock, you never know how big it is, just sticking out the surface, just waiting to snag an implement. Sometimes they're like an iceberg, you don't know what you're going to find underneath. That's an old bin I moved in here to serve as a birdhouse. It's raised quite a few barn swallow families in the past couple of years. Right there. I drove a circle around it so I'd be able to find it again. We're hooked on. Coming now to get it loaded. This is the part where you rest your back. Not too bad. Well, now the duals have to come off of this tractor. Its seeding job is done. Next thing for this tractor is harvest. It'll pull the combine, possibly a swather. So the duals are in the way. Besides that, it won't go into my shed with the duals on. Was a day my brother and I, when we farmed together, would wrestle those on by hand. But that's 30 years ago, and I'm on my own now, so I made a backstop on the pallet forks on the little tractor. Seems to work out okay. Okay, if we listen close, I hear a mother antelope there calling to her young one, telling it to stay down. There it is. Yeah. So there's little antelope out. He's got a story to tell. So I'm sitting out here on the back porch, and these little guys, there was one single one for about a week, coming and going, looking pretty lonely, and it seems like has now found a partner. So they're making plans for building here. Yeah, I think they're in love. They are such little community birds, family birds. They're cool. And then over here is the robin nest, and she's getting used to me. She will fly back in, lands on that evener, makes it clunk, look at me for a bit, and then hop up in there. She's in there now. It's all good. Well, it's the end of the day, 22nd of May. So, sitting in front of the rock thing. It's a good place to spend the evening. Think about where you've been, where you might be going. So where I've been is getting some odd jobs done, things put away. Garden stuff done. Rocks picked, or thinning I should say. You never really pick your rocks here, but you thin them at best. So almost done with that. But this morning my lower back said, okay, you're done with that job for now. So we'll see. Maybe I can get a couple hours in tomorrow. Anyway, it's time now then to bring the hay and machinery, the harvest machinery out, start looking things over, get it all ready, and go from there. I don't think much is needed as far as repairs on the machinery. Everything was working pretty good. Just check the wear points. Usually find a few things to work on. Yeah, so this rock thing that I'm sitting in front of, it was another one of those. It wasn't really a plan. It just kind of worked out this way. Kind of ties in another mom story. Anyway, when she was still spending time out on the farm here, and we had a visit one time about where things are going, and her wishes for the future, and she expressed that she would like to have her ashes on the farm. And that's good. We can do that. And she said at that time she really didn't want a marker or anything. So that's good. Each their own. That was Dad's choice too. He didn't want a marker. So time later, Mom said, well, you know what, maybe a little plaque or something would be nice. Okay, Mom, we can do that. We'll put a little plaque up here somewhere. Then she says, well, maybe it'd be nice to have Walt's name on that plaque too. That'd be my father, Walter. So I got thinking about that, and I thought, well, you know what? There was one of the great aunts, ashes are here. She grew up here, of course, so this is where her ashes came back to. And there was a baby that was buried here, the last of the string. Baby number 10, as far as I know. But anyway, so there's a baby here, buried here. There's ashes of a great aunt. There's mom and dad and a sister. So I thought, well, maybe we just make some kind of a rock thing and give everyone a tag, and then we'll leave room to add tags. I guess mine will go here one day, and there'll be other family members, I'm sure. So that's what I did. I started dragging in big rocks. I knew of some nice ones that I wanted to work with, but I had no idea really how it was going to go, what it would look like. I had a few thoughts rolling around in my old brain, and as I was dragging the rocks in and started fitting them, it started taking shape, kind of a shape of its own. Just how the rocks fit together wasn't really a plan that or design that I came up with. But once I was done with it and stood back and looked, holy smokes, that's pretty cool. So the rock thing coming up out of the earth builds up into a series of peaks and valleys, and then makes its way back into the earth, much as we do here.